I'm sick yet again, so in this video, I'll just be merging these videos together. They're the problems caused by each wrong warp skip.
So obviously, before people perform glitches or skips, they like to know what kind of impact this would have on their playthrough, like what quests get ruined and what not. One of the biggest ones is the mountaintop of the giant's wrong warp skip. This skip is quite literally needed for certain runs, like the Maidenless run. If you decide to stay Maidenless, then the golden seal that blocks off the forbidden lands will stay there even if you kill Morgott. And on top of that, you won't have the rolled medallion, so you'll need to do the Morgott skip and the mountaintop of the giant's wrong warp skip. So anyway, if you rush to the mountaintop of the giants, you can get there in 20 to 30 minutes. And obviously that's not including doing any previous quests or killing bosses. You just need to go to the trap chest at the Tower of Return in the Weeping Peninsula, then do the wrong warp skip at the Divine Bridge, then do the Morgott skip, then finally the mountaintop wrong warp skip. I won't be explaining how to do any of this. Instead, I'll link a video in the description on how to do all of this. That is, if I remember. Now, the quests that get ruined by doing this aren't nearly as much as you might think. This doesn't mess with Gold Masks or Brother Corin's quest at all. So long as you don't kill the fire giant, that is. Ranni's quest and Dung Eaters don't get ruined either. Nor does Alexander Jar's quest, if you even care about him. Only one quest gets ruined, and that's Yura, the samurai that helps you kill Narishus in the valley connected to a Geel lake. Because the moment you enter the mountaintop of the giants, Shabriri will be there in Yura's body. You can still do Hieta's quest as well despite this, and you can still get Yura's katana by going to the campfire at the seaside ruins once his body gets taken. So as far as I'm aware, not a single quest gets ruined, other than Yura's, unless you defeat the fire giant. You'll still be able to Ranni's quest, the Dung Eater's quest, and Gold Mask's quest. However, unlike Ranni and Dung Eater, I'm pretty sure Gold Mask's quest gets ruined the moment you kill the fire giant. But if you want to get to Farah Mazula, you can just do the Farah Mazula wrong warp skip, and so long as you don't kill the Maliketh, no quests will be ruined. Killing Maliketh will obviously not only ruin quests, but will fuck up your entire game if you didn't complete everything in Lindell Capital first. So basically, feel free to cheat and glitch your way through the entire game if you want. So long as you don't kill an area boss, you'll be fine. But the wrong warp skip is one of the best skips in this game. And I made a video yesterday on what impact doing the mountaintop wrong warp skip had on quests, so I decided to make one for Farah Mazula, since I think it's one of the ones that have been used the most. I won't be explaining how to do it in this video. Instead, I'll link a video in the description on how to do it. Hopefully I remember. So just like the other wrong warp skips, this won't ruin any ending quests, those being the Dung Eaters, Ranni's quest, Gold Mask's quest, Fia's quest, and obviously nothing can stop you from getting the Frenzied Flame ending, other than being Maidenless or using Miquella's Needle. But when it comes to side quests, there's Knight Bernal, who helps you with the Godskin duo. If you followed his quest up to this point, then he invades you afterwards. Even if you defeat the Godskin duo, this doesn't mess up his quest. And the same goes for Alexander Jar. The strongest warrior will meet you in Farah Mazula for a duel if you followed his quest. And his quest won't be messed up even if you kill Maliketh. Though wrong warping to Farah Mazula and killing Maliketh will ruin Gold Mask's quest. And one of the seedbed curses will be lost. There's 6 total in the game, and you need 5. So it's not that big of a deal, but you'd have to get both of the seedbed curses in the Halig tree, so not much really changes for Dung Eater's quest. However, killing Maliketh obviously does change Lindell Capital in general, and a lot of useful items get lost in the process, so it's still not a good idea to kill him early. But anyway, the detriment of wrong warping to Farah Mazula and even killing the Godskin duo is practically non-existent. At the very least, I haven't found any. Let me know if you've found any, or if you have a question about a certain quest that you're worried might get ruined that I didn't mention, then please let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to respond as soon as possible. My favorite wrong warp skip in general is the Nokron wrong warp skip. This wrong warp skip allows you to get your bestest friend early in the game. But since it's a glitch, and since I get people asking about any repercussions of doing this glitch before actually reaching this point in the game, I decided I'll let you know of the quests down here, and if they get ruined, I made a video for this on the Farum Azula wrong warp and the mountaintop of the giants wrong warp. So I figured, why not the Nokron wrong warp? So just a disclaimer, I won't be showing how to do the wrong warp itself. I'll link a video in the description on it. And let's hope I remember. So the big one people worry about is ruining Ranni's quest. Obviously you can only reach Nokron by doing Ranni's quest unless you do the wrong warp. So it's important to note that this doesn't actually affect her quest in any way. Even if you kill the Mimic Tear, the Ancestral Guardian, or the Valiant Gargoyles, Ranni's quest isn't messed up. You won't be able to collect the Fingerslayer blade early and force her quest progression. And Blade won't be down here until after you defeat Radahn. But truth is, Blade's quest itself can be completely ignored, since if you still want his set, all you have to do is complete Ranni's quest and kill him outside of her tower after he loses control. Now the only other quest I can think of is Dee's twin brother's quest. However, even if you kill the Valiant Gargoyles, which is a boss right next to him, and that he can help you with, it has no effect on him, and he simply remains in that spot until you give him the twinned set. Now I can't think of any other quest that is directly influenced by your progression of Nokron. If there are any more, then please let me know down in the comments. But again, it doesn't seem that killing any bosses within Nokron will ruin any quests. So I made a video on the repercussions of doing the wrong warp skip for the other 3 wrong warps. So I figured I should also do one for Lendal Capital. And I realized while making the last video that I probably could have done this all in one video, but I was already in too deep. So just like before, I'll mention some quests in the capital and let you know if wrong warping here early causes any problems in your quest. I, however, will not be showing you how to do the wrong warp itself. Instead, I'll link another video on that in the description. Let's hope I remember. So obviously the Lendal Capital is one of the most important areas in the game, and it's a place that most people want to get to quickly because of all of the good items that litter the street. Personally, I only ever bum rush here to get a somber smithing stone plus down in the shunning grounds. But there's only a few quests that get ruined by wrong warping here, and only one of them relates to one of the ending quests. So the first one is Yura. If you go to Lendal Capital, you'll miss Yura's quest, and you can no longer do it. It's honestly not that big of a deal, I don't think, since while he certainly does help out a lot, if what you want is his katana, all you need to do is go to the campfire at Seaside Ruins. And now the second quest to get ruined, Boggart, our favorite prawn dealer. If you get to Lendal Capital before doing his quest, you can no longer do it, because Raya will leave the lake and go back to the Volcano Manor, and that means you get no crabs or prawns. And this also stops you from getting a seedbed curse, meaning you have to collect both of the ones in the Halig tree. Then there's Dialos. If you go to Lendal Capital through the wrong warp skip, his quest will cancel and you won't be able to do his quest at all, unless you progressed far enough in his quest. Until he enters Volcano Manor, you can't go to the Atlas Plateau at all. And when it comes to Bok, our seamstress, his quest doesn't seem to be ruined, no matter how far you progress. So you don't need to worry about that. And finally, Melina. If you don't accept her as your maiden before you make the trek, then she won't even pop up at any grace, and you'll have to come back to the gatefront grace, unless you plan on going maidenless. But those are the only quests that I noticed get ruined by doing this wrong warp. I felt the need to add Bok in, because he's basically our mascot, a cute little guy that can alter our clothes for us. So anyway, I'll be ending the video here. I hope you found it helpful, and if you made it to this point, then thanks for sticking around. Also, if you did happen to find this video helpful, or maybe even enjoyable, then please consider giving this video a like and subscribing. It would really help out the channel and mean a lot to me. Until next time.